Wellambai, lambai, wellambai, lambai, wellambai, lambai.
Centuries ago, when the Portuguese explorers first sailed along the east coast of South America, they came to one of the most beautiful harbors. Here they founded a colonial outpost, calling it Rio de Janeiro. Today, this is a city of more than the capital city of Brazil. The Republic of Brazil is the largest country of South America. It covers more than half of the South American continent. Brazil lies in the southern tropics between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn. Yet its high altitude keeps the climate moderate through the year. The winds blowing off the ocean give most of Brazil a rainfall ranging from heavy in the Amazon jungles to moderate in the rest of the nation. Brazil has two principal geographic divisions: the basin of the Amazon River and the populous and fertile highlands. 2/3 of Brazil's more than 53 million inhabitants live in the highlands, especially along the coast. It is there that we find the most important cities: the port of Santos, the industrial city of São Paulo, and the capital, Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro is the center of Brazilian life. It is the seat of the national government, a busy capital whose natural beauty is enhanced by many stately official buildings. Rio is also a center of trade for the nation's richest and most densely populated region, the Brazilian Highlands. The Brazilian Highlands are a vast region that rises at the mountain wall known as the Great Escarpment, a few miles in from the coast. The highlands are cut by deep, narrow valleys with rolling hills, plateaus, and low mountains. This is a region of great variety, of vast plantations growing coffee and cotton, oranges, sugarcane, and rice. Of sleepy villages, many centuries old, villages that change only slowly. This is also a region of frontiers. Much of the land is covered with forest. On these frontiers, men live by the most primitive kind of agriculture. They cut and burn off the forest. Then in the clearings, they cultivate the soil, raising crops of rice or maize or beans. In a few seasons, the soil is exhausted. Then they turn the land into pasture and move on to clear new fields from the forest. In marked contrast to the frontier is the life of people in the region's thriving modern cities: São Paulo, Rio, and Santos, where thousands of people live and work much as they do in every other city of the world. These people are of diverse origins. Some of them are of Portuguese ancestry. Some have Oriental blood. Some show traces of Indian or Negro ancestry, while many come from Italian and North European stock. But all are Brazilians. There are many wealthy people in the great cities. For some, wealth comes from business, for others from the land. Senor Gatto, the son of an Italian immigrant, is a prosperous landowner. He is entertaining a customer, a buying agent of an American coffee wholesaler. The whole family takes pride in telling about their plantation, which Brazilians call a fazenda. Senor Gatto's fazenda lies 300 miles to the west of the coast, in the heart of the coffee country. When Senor Gatto visits his fazenda, he usually flies. In a country with few roads and railroads, planes have become a vital means of transportation. The fazenda covers more than 5,000 acres, much of it covered with coffee trees. It is harvesting time on the fazenda. This promises to be an exceptionally rich harvest. Senor Gatto offers his workers a special bonus if they bring in the harvest early. The fazenda is a community of several hundred families, each working on the plantation as one unit. The Suarez are a typical fazenda family of tenant farmers, each tending an assigned number of coffee trees. Senor Suarez picks berries. His son, Batista, rakes them up. His daughter, Maria, is sifting out berries from twigs and debris.
Se a lua nasce por detrás da verdade, mas parece sol de prata, prateando a solidão. A gente pega na viola que ponteia e a canção da lua cheia nos nascer no coração. Não há gente, oh não, luar como este do sertão.
Here, workers spread out the coffee to dry in the hot Brazilian sun. During the working day, only the sick and the women and small children stay in the village. Here, women bake bread in an outdoor oven, just as their ancestors did centuries ago. This is the home of the Suarez family. Every noon during the harvest, Senora Suarez takes the food to her family at work in the coffee grove.
Luar como este do sertão, não há gente, oh não, luar como este do sertão.
A few miles away, another Highland farm family earns its living in the cotton fields. Unlike the fazenda tenants, Farmer Teixeira owns a small farm. He needs the help of his whole family to harvest his cotton. Even Irineu, the youngest, must help. When his bag is full, he takes it to the cart. Farmer Teixeira takes the day's picking to the nearest cotton gin. Men from farms, large and small, for many miles around, bring their cotton to the gin to be cleaned of seeds. Sacks are spot checked for quality. The cleaned cotton is packed in bales and sent to the mills of São Paulo or exported to foreign countries.
Peguei Ita no norte pra vir pro Rio morar. Adeus meu pai, minha mãe.
In the evening, the weary harvesters return from the fields. Now the little plantation community comes to life. Dinner is the only time when everyone in the family gathers around the table. In the late summer afternoon, Senor Suarez and his son take a stroll down to the commissary. The commissary is operated by the fazenda to supply workers and tenants with all the many things they need to buy. Tonight, Senor Suarez wants only a sack of rice.
Mamãe me deu uns conselhos na hora de eu embarcar.
3 kilos, says the clerk, and puts down the purchase to the Suarez's account. The things he buys in the store are paid for out of his earnings from the coffee harvest.
Que é pra Deus te ajudar.
Sunday, the day of rest. The whole Suarez family is going to the neighboring village to attend church. To the farm people of Brazil, Sunday is more than a day of worship. It is market day and the day of the local fair as well. Here life is much the same as it has been for generations past. In other parts of the Highlands, however, the land is yielding another kind of harvest, iron ore. One of the world's largest deposits of iron ore is mined here.
Pronto!
The mines in the state of Minas Gerais supply ore to neighboring plants. The mills now produce enough steel to meet much of Brazil's growing needs. The growth of industry brings the promise of other changes in Brazil's life. This is reflected in modern factories and in the homes occupied by steelworkers at Volta Redonda. Much of the steel goes to supply the manufacturing industries of São Paulo, several hundred miles away. In recent years, São Paulo has become one of the manufacturing giants of South America. On machines imported from abroad, especially from the United States, the spinning and weaving mills of São Paulo transform the cotton from Brazilian plantations to cloth for South American markets. The large city population supplies skilled workers for the modern industries. One of them is Pietro Valli, an Italian-born worker in a textile plant. Pietro Valli grew up in São Paulo. He barely remembers his native Italian, which is quite similar to the Portuguese language of Brazil. At the end of the day, he takes the bus to the quiet neighborhood of industrial workers where he lives. His youngsters are waiting to greet their father, just as children do everywhere. Right now, Jaime needs help. Today, his geography class studied the United States. Jaime was called on to compare the size of the United States and Brazil. He learned that Brazil is just a little larger. Now, Jaime has to write what he knows about American exports to Brazil. Many kinds of machines and cars and tractors, says his father, and railroad engines come from the United States. Now little Gina wants some attention, but Mother interrupts them. Dinner is waiting. And so São Paulo works and lives a life different from that on the highland plantations. This is a bustling, growing city, proud of its modern department stores, where imported goods from all over the world are offered to Brazilians. Luxuries that have become necessities in modern Brazil. And for the imported goods, Brazil pays with money earned from the products of highland plantations and farms. Brazilian oranges go to Europe. Brazilian cotton to Japan and Britain. Brazilian coffee to all four corners of the world. Much of this overseas trade is loaded a few miles south, at the port which serves São Paulo, at Santos. The harbors of Brazil are ports of call for ocean-going ships from every part of the world. The hustle and bustle of these harbors are witness that as distant as Brazil is from the nations of the north, the people of Brazil are everyone's neighbors.
10 da noite, na rua deserta, a preta mercante